Hello everyone. Today we are going to paint this flower. You should have a photo reference ready whenever you try to paint real life, so you would know how the real shape of the flower. Violet is a birth flower for February. This is the three colors that I use: dark blue, yellow, and purple. I've been using the same three paint brushes for my few last videos. These are my favorite one. The first one is a big size round brush, the second one is a small size round brush, and the last one is a mop brush. Painting watercolors comes in few layers. The first layers you just use a little bit of paint and lots of water. To make it easy to make gradation, I will use this method. First, you add water into the part of the flower you want to put paint, and then you add the color. This color will be the lightest part of the flower. I add a little bit blue color in the center part of the flower. As you can see, the blue just blends onto the purple color. I'm going to repeat that process again in the more zoom in version so you can have a look in detail how this paint and colors works. I'm using a watercolor pencil to make the sketch of this flower, so the sketch will just blend into the water and you almost can't see it anymore once you put the paint on the paper. Just remember that the other flower is still wet, so you want to move on to the other flower that is a bit further away. It's the same like the first one. I added a bit more blue color in the center of the flower. So you basically just repeat the same process to all of the flowers. Just keep in mind, if the paint is still wet, you should just wait a little bit or move on to the part of the flower that is a bit further away. As you can see, I just rotate the paper as I go and find the easiest angle to work with. This is the final result of the first layer. And then after everything is dry, I'm going to color the center of the flower, or you might say the stigma. Just add a little bit of yellow. I already used pigmented color on this one because I won't use that many layers. On the second layer, I like the more pigmented or dense color, so I will add a bit more purple on my plate. And then you basically starting from the center part of the flower outwards to add the darker color. And then you can soften that color with a damp brush or a clean brush with a bit of water, and then just brush it out towards the outside of the petal. This part is a bit more relaxed and long process because you basically work on each petals one by one, so you have separate color on each petals. You can also just start right away to the next petal as long as you just leave a little bit of white space in between so the colors won't blend. Painting this flower, I think, is really easy for beginners. You sort of just repeat the same process over and over again. For example, there's 5 petals on each flowers, so you color petals 5 times. And then there's a few flowers on the paper, so you basically repeat everything all over again. This is very good for the beginners that just starting to learn how the paints work, how to apply more water, how to make gradation, and just get used to using a different paint brushes. As you can see, I maintain the lighter part of the flower, so I just basically add color to the center outwards and then leave the outer part just as is. A lot of people think that working with watercolor is hard, but I disagree with that. I think as long as you know the method, you'll definitely be able to learn watercolor in a short time. It's best to start with the simplest form of painting, such as this one, and the sketch is already made, so you just focus on painting. Most mistakes people do, I did when I just started watercolor, I used too much paint. It means the paint is too dense or too pigmented. To use watercolor, you have to add the paint layers by layers. Then you will have the end result soft and beautiful. As you can see, I just changed between two brushes here. It depends really which brush do you like better. And I would say the good quality brush is never a waste of money. You can use this brush as long as you take care of it for years and years. Buying a cheap brush, I think, will only frustrate you because the brush wouldn't have that much electricity, and sometimes the hair of the brush just fall off easily off the brush. I'm pretty sure I've been using this small round brush probably about 5 years now, and it still works really good. So then again, you just basically repeat the same process to the other flowers. Although the position of the petals might be a bit different, so you just try to understand where the shadows might be. So the shadows will be the darker color, obviously, and where the light is coming from will be the lighter color. I will show you what you can do if you make mistakes painting watercolor. For example, on this one, I put the blue color instead of violet. So you can just add more water and then dry it out with the paper towel. So the paper towel will take all the colors out. And then this also work, for example, if you put too much water, you can just dry one big brush out and then just take the water out with the brush little by little. When you're going to color a petal that is folded, you just leave that part of the petal that is folded on a light color and you add darkest color just right along the side of that folded petal. This will give you contrast and will define the shape of the folded petal. And then you just add a little bit of gradation. I'm going to add a little bit more color. This one is just orange color mixed with yellow to shape the center part of the flower. And then lastly, I just add really dense color on a really small brush. The other round brush actually works better than this brush. It's just you need the brush with a really pointy edge to sort of draw a line to define the shape of the flower. And then you can still soften that part with the clean brush. You can also add the same color in between the flowers just to add depth. And then lastly, you just see which part of the painting that you just want it to be really dark to add contrast. For example, on the other petals below the other petals, that will be very dark and have a little bit of shadow. That is it. Our painting today is done. Don't forget, whenever you finish painting, you need to clean all your paint brushes and put it on the paper towel until it's fully dry. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you find this video useful, please go to my channel and subscribe. It will definitely give me the support that I need to keep making these tutorial videos for you. If you haven't heard about me yet, my name is Keisha. I'm a watercolor artist from Australia. I have uploaded some free sketches for you to download. This way you can just start on learning your watercolor without having to worry to make the sketch. I will also love to hear your feedback so I can make this video better and better for you. Thank you for watching and I hope to see you next time.